It's called Scion, and it's meant to woo the hip and energetic hearts of today's youth. Just look at this brochure with its funky indie movie cover. And inside there's a whole myriad of funky cars, like this TC, which is a sporty looking coupe that the company says is modification ready. And then there's the Scion XB, which will go great with your new era baseball cap. And then there's what I've got, the entry-level little one, the XD. I have to say that it's a good-looking car. I've always liked boxy cars, and this one checks that box. It's also very small, and I also like that in a car. But those plastic wheel covers do take away from the whole youthiness. But that's actually not the point. This shouldn't be viewed as a finished car, but more of a blank canvas on which to create your masterpiece. And so all Scions come in one well-equipped trim onto which you can add all sorts of modifications. It's actually not bad value. You get things like keyless entry, Bluetooth hands-free, and a USB input for your iPod, to the rather good-sounding Pioneer stereo. But I'm not the biggest fan of the head. They obviously wanted to give it an aftermarket look, so they talked to Pioneer. But I can't help but think that in this day and age of Android and iPhones, a better design would be more well received in place of those trapezoidal buttons. But it all starts at a quite reasonable $17,200. Inside, it's actually not too bad considering the car's small size. In fact, when I'm driving it, I forget how small the car actually is. But it's just not as funky in here. So obviously they got the styling right, if you pay $1,200 for the alloy wheels. And young people will like that customizing aspect too. But what about the all-important drive? Well, it's here where something becomes blatantly obvious. It's a Toyota, and on its home turf of the city, it's actually very good. The steering is light and very quick, and that made it to the fact that the car is very short means it feels very nippy. And the engine is also very torquey, meaning you don't have to wring it to get it going. But despite this, it's actually not very fun. The 1.8-liter four-cylinder is efficient, achieving about 7 liters per 100 kilometers, and it may produce a commendable 128 horsepower. But it's way up at the top of the rev range, and it's just not eager to get there. So don't whatever you do buy the $900 automatic. With its tall gears and a lazy engine, pushing this thing is like getting a teenager out of bed. I mean, listen to that, come on! And when you hit a corner, things aren't much better. It's stable, but understeer comes in rather quick. Thankfully, at least the steering will tell you it's happening. But even then, the seats aren't much help either, because if you're a tall, skinny guy like me, you'll find that they're not very supportive, and you just kind of roll out of them. Whoa. So it appeals to young people in that it's customizable, and it's pretty good looking too. But young people want something that'll excite the senses, and the XD just doesn't do that. Sure, as a subcompact it works, but it's style without the substance. For Horstpower on BCIT Magazine, I'm Jonathan Horst.